Hi, this is Willy from Willy Smokehouse Barbecue, doing it right. Hey, today we're going to go ahead and show you how to brine an awesome, wonderful turkey. Matter of fact, we're going to do it two ways because you guys have been asking this one question. Does it really matter to go ahead and do a fancy brine or just a regular simple brine? We're going to find out. Okay, so remember what I said earlier. When we're going to do a wonderful brine for our turkey, we actually have already in here in this pot, we already have 2 gallons of water. And what we're going to do is we are going to add 4 whole bulbs of garlic, and we're going to cut them in half. We have our sugar, we have our salt, and we have our peppercorn, and also we're going to do some sage, rosemary, and thyme. All right, as you can see, we basically got 3 cups of salt. We're just going to go ahead and pour right into the pot there. And what we're going to do is once we get the sugar in there, we're going to start stirring this up so it will actually go ahead and dilute the salt and sugar content in there. So look how gorgeous that looks already. Oh yeah, the turkey is going to take a nice warm bath here with all the goodness in there. All right, as you can see, we got 3 cups of salt not salt right here. We got 3 cups of sugar. It almost looks like you better be careful not to do 6 cups of salt. That will ruin the turkey. But no, now we just poured in basically 3 cups of sugar right there. And what we're going to do is just really simple. I'm just going to go ahead and start just allowing the sugar. As you can see, the sugar has not, here, let me see if I can get a portion right here. So it's diluting right now, the salt and sugar. And you're not boiling this, you're just getting it nice, a little warm. And so that way, I wish you had smell-o-vision, because man, I can smell the rosemary, I can smell the sage and thyme and the garlic. And then one more ingredient that we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and add 1 cup of whole peppercorn in this bad boy. All right, as you can see, we got 1 cup of peppercorn that we're putting in here. And getting all that in there. Okay, the cool thing is this. Let's keep this camera steady here. The cool thing is this. When all of these the flavors come in, we're going to go ahead. Like I said, we're going to make sure that the sugar and salt content of this thing is diluted before we go ahead and put it into a 5-gallon bucket. Now, why am I doing this versus just putting it in an ice chest? Because my friends, it is easier to put it in a bucket, and if you have the capacity to put it in your refrigerator, it's one and done. And so what's going to happen is normally around a 15-pound turkey, you usually do an hour of brine versus basically pound. So since obviously you have a 15-pound turkey, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and put it in, let it brine for 15 hours. And this is really simple. This right here is where your turkey is going to go into and all your mixture. And how easy at the end of the day, when you're done with your brine, you just basically zip it up and you're done. And no fuss, no muss. I learned over the years, man, I used to put it in a big ice chest, and all this mess, even though it's so good and delicious, it was a pain in the butt to go ahead and clean all this out of your ice chest. So we're going to go ahead and pour this bad boy into that bucket. Okay, now as you can see, we got all the ingredients in here. The only thing that's missing are two things, and that one is apple cider. That's right, we're pouring 1 gallon of apple cider in this bad boy right in here. Oh, it is good. So then now what we're going to do is this. Now we got everything in there, 1 gallon apple cider vinegar. Now we're going to put this bad boy turkey in there. But before we do that, we're going to trim that turkey up. I'm going to show you how to do it. All right, we got the gorgeous turkey right here. And one thing, like I said, what we're going to do is trim this up. But a lot of times turkeys come with this little thermometer probe thing right there. You can see it. We're not going to need that because the way we're going to have inner thermometer probe, so we toss that. We don't need that. We're going to actually be able to pull out all these stuff that we're going to use for later, the neck bone and the gizzard and the heart. We're going to save that for later, because right now we just want to go ahead and brine this. So what's going to happen is this. You're going to go ahead and just make sure on the other side, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Look at how that we're going to trim that up, and then we're going to, this right here, I always cut this right off like that. So that's what we're going to do. See how I can go ahead and show you that. We're going to see if I can do this. Yeah, there we go. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to cut that right off of there, and then we're going to trim the other, and then we're going to put it right in the brine bath that it's going to get. All right, as you see, basically I just cut up just standard oranges, and what we're doing is we're just going to go ahead and squeeze these right in here. And it's not a big squeeze, but we just want to get some of the juices in there. So we're going to do that to each and every one of these. Okay, so we're going to add those in there. And like I said, I will tell you on the next video why we are doing that, when we are also doing a comparison of two different types of rubs. We're going to throw some apples in there. Man, it's going to look festive. And when we get done with this, you'll know why we have these apples and oranges in here. Now, another thing too is this, really simple, is on our next video, we're going to go ahead and show you the two different types of rub. One is going to be a Napa Valley rub, and the other one is going to be our famous, wonderful barbecue rub that we're going to put on a smoked turkey. And you know what? You can do whatever you want to do, whatever float your boat. All right, so we got this bad boy in here, and we ain't going to see this for another 15 hours. And the coolest thing is this. There goes the lid. It is safe and secure, and we'll see you in about 15 hours. Now we're going to go ahead and show you the simple brine solution for the other turkey. Stay tuned. We're on to our second turkey. Just like before, we're going to go ahead and take out this pop-up thermometer. We are not going to need that. It's not going to oven, it's going in our smoker. That would melt that. That would not be a good thing. And then, like I said, what we're going to do, we'll use these for later. Take out the neck bone and then the heart and the liver, and we'll use that for some gravy. For me, my friends, I actually fried up the liver. Oh my gosh. If you never had fried turkey liver, you're missing out. All right, so back at it again, same thing. We just want to make sure looks like there's a little bit of ice right there. We're going to toss that, put that in the sink. And then, like I said before, we're going to just, do the same process, but this one's going to be easier. We're going to use, for a 15-pound bird, we're going to use 3 cups of salt and 3 cups of sugar. But we're going to trim this up. I don't think anybody likes this. So we're actually going to go ahead and cut this off and trim it up. And pretty simple. And then we're also going to go ahead and trim this extra neck that is right here. We're going to cut that and trim that up. All right, as you can see, I basically turned the turkey around. Really simple. Like I said, there is a lot of basically the neck, the skin of it, and no one likes that. As a matter of fact, it will just go ahead and burn up anyways in the smoker. So we're just going to trim it, and so just about like that. We're going to just go ahead and trim that off of there, like I said. So that way it will still be able to fold underneath here, but it won't go ahead and be hanging down. I mean, if you see certain things, you can go ahead and just do a little trimming and stuff like that. But like I said, this one's going to be real simple. We're going to use 3 cups of salt and 3 cups of sugar, and we're going to go ahead. We already have our 2 gallons of water that we're going to put the salt and sugar solution in, and we're just going to make sure it gets diluted, and then we're going to put it in this bad boy, and then we're going to put the turkey in there, and that's it. And then we're going to find out, was it really worth all that time to go ahead and do the rosemary, sage, and thyme on the other brine. And we're going to see if that actually does matter. Because for me, I'd rather do this simple. If it ain't going to matter, and then the turkeys are going to be tasting just as amazing, then you know what? As they say, just keep it simple. Sweetie, I don't like when they say keep it simple, stupid. I just rather, you know what, just keep it simple, sweetie. We're about to go ahead and put the salt and solution in here. We'll be right back. Okay, so we're pouring in our 3 cups of salt right now. In a nice little warm bath, and we're warming this up a little bit so that way it dilutes. And then we're going to go ahead and put 3 cups of sugar. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and throw our 3 cups of sugar. And that's, as far as that brining, that's really simple as far as what we're going to do for this brine. So we're just going to let this dilute, and then we're going to put it into our little bucket right there, and that's it. So this is going to be a real simple brine. Like I said, about for a 15-pound bird, we're going to use 3 cups of salt, 3 cups of sugar, and that is it. And we're going to see which one actually makes a difference. The sage, rosemary, and thyme with peppercorn and garlic, or just a simple solution of salt and sugar. We're just getting this all diluted here, so that way, what this does, what a brine does anyway, so let's talk about that. So what a brine does, it allows all the turkey to get all the moisture in it for a period of time. And when that happens, it allows the turkey to absorb all that. So when you are smoking it, or when you are putting it in the oven, the turkey is not, this looks like it's ready. The turkey is not going to go ahead and dry out. So yeah, that's pretty, see how clean that is? That is like, yeah, it's maybe a little bit more, but let's see. Nope, that's clean. So yeah, so we're done on this. So we're going to go ahead and put that in the bucket, and we're going to put the turkey in there. All right, now that you got your turkey in here, we're going to go ahead and let this brine for about another 15 hours, just like the first one. So like I said, this one's really simple. This one is just a salt and sugar solution, and we're going to put this baby to bed. So we got a beautiful, wonderful protection right here, and we're going to put it in the refrigerator for we're going to use about, I think I put it to 38 degrees for 15 hours, and booyah. We'll see you, baby, in about another 15 hours. As you can see, this thing has been brining for about 15 hours. It's a 15-pound bird. We brine our turkeys 1 hour per pound. And as you can see, this bird, look how gorgeous, look at this. This is what this bird has been soaking into. But now what we're going to do, and remember I told you before, why do we do it this way? Yes, it may take a little bit more time and effort, but there's a reason why we do this. That's why we're doing this little challenge here, the comparison of does it really matter? And now we're going to find out. So we're just basically going to take this bird, see if I can get it out one hand. I don't know if I can or not. Oh, actually, this thing is heavy. So let me get right back to it. All right, as you see, we got the turkey. We got it into the pan that we want. Now what we're going to do is make our rub for this turkey. Now remember I told you what we're going to do with the brine that we had before. So right now what I'm going to do is put in our wonderful rub that we have right here. That should be good enough right there. And then what we're going to do is actually we're going to add some grapeseed oil. We're just going to add enough to it. And while we're doing this, I'm going to show you why in a second. Look at how gorgeous that is. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and mix this in here. And so what I'm doing is kind of making like almost like a paste here. And the reason why we're doing that, because first of all, we want it to go ahead and cling. Looks like it's going to need a little bit more. We want it to cling onto our bird here. We want it to cling onto our bird. So we're actually going to go ahead and make a nice rub here, but it's going to go ahead. Oh, there we go. Look at that consistency now. See, that's what we want right there. And I'm going to show you why right now. So what we're going to do is this. So we're going to take this right here and we're going to rub it on the outside of the bird. We're going to get the legs, and you're going to put this on really liberal on here. And the reason why I leave the bird inside the pan, because we want to collect all the juices that this bird is going to produce. And it's amazing. So when we put it in the smoker, we don't want none of the liquid from the bird, the flavor, the juices to go ahead and escape. Now what we're going to do is this. We're going inside the cavity. We're going inside the cavity, and you can see I'm going to take all this and I'm just going to shove it all in here, put it up into the breast and get that in there. And we're going to shove all, well, pretty much a lot of this rub in here. And what that does, when this bird is cooking and it's smoking, it's going to take all that flavors in there, which is rosemary, sage, and thyme in there, and it's going to go ahead and allow it just to, man, I tell you what, I'm getting hungry just smelling these flavors. Now, what I told you before, why we do it this way, because we're going to take a couple apples, we're going to shove it right in there, right into the bird, and we're going to take some oranges that's already been fermenting in here with the brine. We're going to take that right in there. We're going to take a couple of garlics that's already been soaking in here. See that garlic? Some rosemary that's already in there. And we're going to shove it into the bird right there. Let me get a couple more garlic in there. Look at that. We're just going to shove it right in that bird. And man, I kid you not, when that starts smoking, that flavor comes through the meat. And this is what we call the Napa Valley rub. So as you can see, this bird, it looks gorgeous already. And now what we're going to do, we're going to take it to the smoker.